Hello and welcome to another episode of Horror Ghouls After Dark. My name is Megan,
I'm T.
and we are the Horror Ghouls here to spread some debauchery and weirdness and God knows whatever else comes up. In our last episode, we talked about E.T. Jesus, so anything can happen, anything is possible.
Yes.
Um, we never know. We just never know in advance. So today we're gonna start talking about something because our YouTube says, if you haven't noticed, something about experiences. So sometimes we might have a spooky experience. We're gonna tell you about it. How
Mm.
you like that? So I don't know if I mentioned before on this podcast, but I'm a person, I go to a lot of concerts, a lot of concerts. And the other day, I had the honor and the pleasure of seeing the band that I've mentioned before I was obsessing about because the lead singer, Ghost, played at Madison Square Garden for the very first time to a sold out crowd.
Nice.
Um, yes, which was very exciting. And it was actually, I'm going to say this first and then I'll get into it because I don't want to forget. So, the lead singer, who right now is a character of Papa V, Papa 5, because we talked about you can go back and get into the lore. We're not going to go into all that here, but it's basically the lead singer, Tobias Forge, who I cannot say his name in Swedish. I'm so sorry. Um,
Tobias
it's
Fourier.
it sounds really hot the way that he does it, but I'm gonna sound like a whole jackass if I try to do it like that. You know who I thought of who should say it though? Fred Gwynn.
I can't even.
I
I
know,
can't
but it would
even.
be funny. It would be funny though. It would be because his name's weird enough, but it would be funny. So, basically in this band, it's different. It's the same lead singer, but playing different characters. There's like a Pope and anti-Pope. They're all anti-popes, basically. There's a cardinal. They're all papas. They're all whatever. It's like tongue-in-cheek, religious, anti-religious, but a lot of songs about kind of like Jesus, but like not. I don't know. The other day, oh, firstly, also Ozzy Osbourne has passed away, sadly, if you're seeing this video.
Yes.
It was just
We've
on the
had
22nd.
we had quite a few deaths back to
We
back to back to back
we
because
did
we had
Malcolm
Malcolm
Jamal
Jamal
Warner.
Warner, then it was Ozzy Osbourne, then it was Hulk Hogan, and then there was a jazz guy that none of you guys know that happened the day after
Oh
that. His name is Chuck
no.
Mangione. Um
Oh, Chuck Mangione. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's sad.
So for back to back, I mean literally back to back to back to back, and
Everyone
very
pour out a
unfortunate.
little. Do you have I have a hand sanitizer just pouring out. Like boop boop. Yeah. So it just so happened that the Ghost concert was the day that Ozzy passed away. And Ghost has actually just played that like gosh, I'm gonna butcher the name of it. That Ozzy almost like farewell show they did the other
Hmm.
day. They actually just played it. So he dedicated the show the other night to him, which was nice. There was like a nice Ozzy chant because that's, Prince of Darkness. Without Ozzy, we
Yeah.
wouldn't have a lot of the music and things that we do have. So he dedicated the show to Ozzy that night. That was cool. He mentioned also 14 years ago that Ghost had played at Webster Hall. Now,
Mm.
he was saying, and a lot of you people, if you're not from New York, Webster Hall is kind of like an iconic venue, but it's smaller, way smaller than Madison Square Garden, which is like the venue of venues. It's known the world over, blah, blah. So he was saying, hey, we played at Webster Hall. You guys know Webster Hall? We were like, yeah, we do. He can't hear us. We don't know. We're just having weird interactions. And he goes, did you know that there's a venue in the basement of Webster Hall and it's called the basement at Webster Hall? And he said
Oh.
14 years ago they played there, very small, smaller than Webster Hall. And he was like, and now we're here at Madison Square Garden, so thank you, 14 years later, bringing it all around. So basically, just to tell you a little bit about Ghost. Ghost is a Swedish rock band. A little bit of this has come from Wikipedia and also my memory. Um, they are always costumed. It's like it's such a hybrid of musical genres. It's like metal, hard rock. It's like pop rock, progressive rock, doom metal, like so many things. And the lead guy, Tobias, is the only consistent member of the whole band this whole time.
Okay.
And he's kind of like the genius behind, like he's the lead songwriter, all the characters and stuff like come to him. So he's really interesting because this is not something you see a lot
True.
of. This kind of like hybrid thing with like the costumes and like this weird
Yeah.
imagery and stuff.
He fell into a very interesting niche. I was saying that earlier. Like,
He
I
did.
don't think I've ever seen anything like this ever.
No. Well, and then the thing that's funny that everyone always says, because they look at them and they see how they're outfitted, and they're thinking maybe like more like Slipknot or whatever, something like that, where it seems like it's going to be like crazy German black metal, like death metal crazy, whatever. But it's not. It's lighter than that. But because there are all these elements, like you might find some songs that are more poppy, and you find some songs that are metal. Like the other night, because my cousin went with me. She's not really familiar with them. So we're listening, and like one song almost sounded like a more hard Bryan Adams song. And then like the next
Oh
song sounds
wow.
like a Metallica song, right? And then another song sounds a little more poppy, and then there's like a more ballad type one, but then there's like a really like earth-shattering, like metal sounding one. So it's really interesting, like all these different types of things. But here's what I'm gonna tell you. So first of all, I guess it's their sixth album, just came out this year, Skeleton, and it's their first number one Billboard album. And furthermore, I don't have the deets on this at the moment, but it's like the first metal. See, I'm doing air quotes metal because people are like, it's not metal. And shut up is what I say to you. The first metal album to chart at like number one in years,
Wow.
right? So that's pretty interesting. Basically, what I'm going to say to you guys is if you get the chance, if you're into them, if you're like, I don't know, I kind of want to see them, I kind of don't, go to the show. It's interesting. They did have a no phones thing, which is my first time being at a no phones event, which was kind of weird. Because they make you put it in a little pouch. Like you get to keep it with you. And I'm a person, like I like to have a souvenir, I like a picture, I like a little video, but it did help you be more like immersed in it. So it was
Yeah.
really cool. There was a lot of songs that even sounded better live than on the album, but the also the way that people lean in to dressing up for these things. We're talking about like spooky experiences, right? We're a horror podcast.
Hmm.
Everyone's wearing like scary nun outfits, scary Pope outfits. Like everyone's gothed to the nines, fishnets, Doc Martens,
I love it.
all kind of stuff. And it's like it made me so happy when I came to the gate and I just see everyone lined up waiting to come in and everyone just like face paint and just like craziness. And I love it. I love that kind of community and people in places that kind of like allow people to embrace whatever their weird little heart desires. But like I said, really amazing. Highly recommend. I had a great time. I had seats in the nosebleeds. I will see them again from a much better seat because their visuals and stuff are really immersive. And I think that to really appreciate them, you'd want to be
Yeah.
lower. And also,
It's
Tobias is hot. There's that also.
it sounds like a very interesting experience. You told me quite a bit about it since you went
Yes.
in. Though I am not a heavy metal, death metal, punk metal, hot metal, Hot
Hot metal.
Wheels.
Hot Wheels.
Not that
No.
genre girly. It I do love the look. So
But you would,
I'm very much interested in the visuals and the looks.
it's the visuals because there's a lot of churchy stuff, but also as a person like yourself who's like kind of interested in like I think you said in the past, like the pomp and circumstance of like
Yes.
Catholicism or whatever. There are songs that they're using that have like Latin chants, right? That sound like church music, but then just like cranked up. So I think it's something that would be worth listening to some of it, just because musically, if you're a person who appreciates music and you can hear how interesting like timing changes, like the
Right.
song, like a song turns into multiple songs where here they've inserted like almost like a choir and then it turns to metal and that it's like from that aspect, it's also fascinating. So just like I said, highly recommend. Really cool experience. Madison Square Garden, hopefully it's not the last time they come through for us. But if they go back to the Webster Hall basement, we will
You'll be
be
there.
there. We will be there. And I don't really want to give anything else away because they don't have like video or whatever of their shows because they want to keep them under wraps a little bit. But they're really good. Take my word for it. That's pretty much all I have to say about Ghost. But I also want to talk to you about Mike Flanagan.
Yes.
Michael
Mikey.
J. Flanagan. That's not, I just made that up. I don't know. He has been making some banging TV shows. So back in 2018, we got our first Haunting of Hill House. I just started
Mm.
rewatching this. Um, did you see those movies? There was like a Haunting of Hill House movie in the 90s. Did you see that?
Yeah, and that's why I was confused for a long time because it's like the Haunting of Hill House, the Hill House on Haunted Hill, and then these came out with the Haunting of Hill House, and I was like, "Is this the same thing?" And I was so confused.
It's the
So
same, but
yes,
it's different. But
right.
it's not House on Haunted Hill. But
Yeah, I know.
it's the other. It's the Haunting of Hill House. Because for a while too, I kept getting those confused.
Yeah, I get all those
Um,
confused. So.
but so 2 years after that, we also got The Haunting of Bly Manor, and they're shows that are similar in feel, I think. Totally different stories, but awesome, awesome stories. And
Hmm.
those are old, so I don't really need to get too much into them. But we both watched those. We both watched both of those, right?
Yes.
And you were telling me, I think, that you liked the first one better.
Yes, I like the original Haunting of Hill House because that was one that you needed to watch more than once because the first time you watch it, it's very unassuming. And
Right.
then you learn that in almost every shot, there's a ghost hiding. And so
Yeah.
then you need to like rewatch. And on the second watch, it's more terrifying because scenes that you paid no attention to,
Yeah.
there are ghosts like literally like hiding beneath tables and around corners. And, just the story itself to me was a bit more compelling than The Haunting
Yeah.
of Bly Manor. I thought that The Haunting of Bly Manor was okay, for what it was, but I was expecting something more like the first Haunting of Hill House. And it just kind of didn't deliver for me.
Yeah. It was different. But it's interesting that you mentioned the ghost because this is my second time watching it, but years later.
Hmm.
And it was scarier to me that I was like, this is freaking me the fuck out. Like
Hmm.
there was like someone, like the parent goes to check on the kid sleeping, and then like right behind the door, there's someone standing. But the way it's done is so beautiful because it's not blatantly obvious. It's like
No,
a shadow. It's not even maybe like a full face. It's like almost like a torso, right? But not like a creepy dismembered torso. It's just like someone standing in shadow, but you'll just see like a piece, right? So it's like it's very well done.
there's even a scene where I read because I watched it back to back because I was like, "Oh, you tell me there's ghosts in this?" So
Right.
I turned right around and watched it again.
You're like,
But
show them to me.
yeah, there's like a scene where the dad is walking up the steps and there's like a painter or someone doing like carpentry or something on the staircase.
Hmm.
That's a ghost, and you don't even know because it's a full-fledged like ghost. Like that's one
Oh
of the
my
only
God.
full ghosts that you see in the movie. I mean, in the show, but that's an actual ghost. That person is
That's
not actually there because
cool.
the dad doesn't see that, but we do.
Wow.
So yeah,
It
so
was
I
done.
love that.
That one was very well done. It was very spooky. And there is that broken neck lady in that movie, which is
Yes.
I've mentioned in the past that anyone in any horror movie that has that kind of posture freaks me the F out every time without fail. So that was a good one. The second one, like I said, the story was different. The general consensus I heard from people I know who watched it didn't like that one as much. I will include myself in that. I will say the lady in the lake was terrifying, I thought. She was really freaking creepy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just like how she would like do her trail every night, and if you got in her way, she'd just like grab you by the throat and drag you. Like it was just spoiler
Yeah.
alerts, but it's old. It's from 2020, so you had
2020, yeah.
5 years to watch it. So I can't feel that bad about it. Here's what I'm gonna say though. I recently just watched The Fall of the House of Usher, which you have not watched, correct?
No, I have not.
Okay. Here's what I want to say. I am obsessed with The Fall of the House of Usher. It was so well done. And it was well done in and of itself, but I'm gonna peel back a layer for you because my sister watched that show not knowing that it had anything to do with Edgar Allan Poe.
Oh wow.
Right. So The Fall of the House of Usher is an Edgar Allan Poe story. However, what they did was they took each episode and they made it like a story within a story. So the episodes might be titled like after other like The Raven, the
Mm.
Telltale Heart, there were so many. I can't even hold on. I need to pull it up because I don't want to botch it. Oh my God, also Mark Hamill was in it, Luke Skywalker,
Yeah.
everyone. He was so incredible. I didn't recognize him at first, but I was like, that guy kind of looks like Luke Skywalker. And I was like, nah, because he was being a character actor. And then I was like, oh shit, no, it is him.
It's very interesting while you're looking at that. There are so many things that Mike Flanagan has done
Oh
that I
yeah,
had no idea that I've seen. So, like he's done Doctor Sleep
yep,
from 2019. He did Gerald's Game, which I
he
loved.
did.
He did Hush. He did Oculus. He did Ouija, Origin of Evil, which I also saw.
Hmm.
Before I Wake, which I also saw.
I didn't see that
Like,
one.
yeah, it was pretty good. And so, like, yeah, there's so many things that he's done. I'm surprised to see that. So he's got some pretty good things under his belt.
Absolutely, he does. So I'm just to break it down for you again, because I'm just like I said, my sister went in not knowing. So the Fall of the House of Usher is its own story, and it's like and other tales. The Fall of the House of Usher and other tales. But then what they worked in are his other stories, right? So overall, we're doing Fall of the House of Usher. But season one, episode one was called A Midnight Dreary, which is one of the first lines from The Raven, which I
Hmm.
committed to memory in middle school because I'm a psycho. Episode two is called The Mask of the Red Death. Three, Murder in the Rue Morgue. Four is The Black Cat. Five is The Telltale Heart. Six is Goldbug, which for freaks like me was a little lower on the list, so it was a little lower down because then we go into the classic, The Pit and the Pendulum,
Mm.
and we end with The Raven. So it wasn't only that that had me so like enamored of this show. It was also that almost like a pyramid, right? So like I said, Fall of the House of Usher and all these other episodes, but then within those episodes, they're working in other little nods to the stories. Like they would work in like the Cask of Amontillado into that episode. They also were referring to people by names from his poems. So there was like Annabelle Lee, there's Lenore, and they're not only appearing in their episodes, like the episodes named after the story. So the way that this was done, the way that this world was put together, I found to be so absolutely incredible. And I was so pleased, like knowing these stories, watching these things occur. And I was like, oh, that's the thing. That's from this thing. That's from this thing. But aside from that, like I said, if you don't know this has anything to do with him, it's still amazing. It's just that much more amazing when you see all of the effort they put into like learn it or like what a love
Right.
letter this is to his story and his works. So I fucking loved it. It gets 11 out of 10. 11 out of 10. 11 out
Oh,
of 10.
wow.
So highly recommend everyone to watch this shit. It's on Netflix right now, I think.
It is.
Hopefully they don't ever like remove it.
I'll try to watch it. I do see that Kate Siegel, which is his wife, and
Yes.
Carla Gugino, I don't know if I said that correct, and they were both in The Haunting of Hill House, are both in this too. And I'm sure he has other crossovers with other people as
He
well.
likes to
So,
reuse the same people, I noticed.
yeah.
So, for example, I didn't notice that when I first watched The Haunting of Hill House. Going back to revisit it after watching this, I noticed there was someone else, or like two more people that were in Fall of the House of Usher that were in Hill House, which I didn't
Mm,
realize at the time because we weren't getting into like the repetitive casting yet. So I love that for him. It's almost like I was gonna say like Stephen King-esque in a way, right?
yeah,
But like a little bit of a different flavor, but like adjacent.
true.
So that was really good. I then did move on to Midnight Mass. Midnight Mass, which you have not watched as well, right?
Right, I saw the first episode and then turned it off.
I did feel like that was a very slow burn. It was interesting, not what I expected going in. And like I said, it started kind of slow for me, but it turned out to be good. For me, it was really hard to follow up Follow the House of Usher with like anything because it was one of those shows that you watch and it's over and you're like, oh shit, what do I do now? Like, I don't even know what to do.
Yeah,
That one was solid, not an 11 out of 10. That was probably more like a seven, seven or eight, 7 or 8. Still well done, like I said. Do recommend, but if you haven't seen Fall of the House of Usher, everyone do it. Just do it. You'll be so happy.
Yeah, and the
Or you
same
won't.
people I mentioned are in this one too. And I think the dad from the first one, Henry Thomas, I think that's him from The Haunting of Hill House. I'm not sure though, offhand. Yes,
Yeah.
yep, I recognized him, Henry Thomas. So Kate Siegel, Carla Gugino, Henry Thomas, they're all in
And they're incredible in
those
the
other ones.
parts that they
Yeah,
do. Yeah. Good shit, good shows. And here's what I want to say to you all. I'll put this out to you. Do you have any recommendations for us for shows? I
sure.
am out of spooky shows. I love a spooky show, a series. I don't feel like we get enough of that. American Horror Story has been sucking. I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
For a while. For a while.
yeah.
Let's all be so for real, right? But we would love movie recs, not necessarily even to review. If you want to just be a pal, give us something, or let us know if you want to us to watch something, talk about it for you. We'll do it for price. Just kidding. We'll do it. We'll just do it. But yeah, it's time for some fresh new stuff. Oh, I will say Mike Flanagan is working on the new Carrie series, which is very interesting because so far everything he's been putting out has been pretty rad.
Yeah.
So I have hopes for that, even though I don't like when people reboot things or remake things.
He's doing something else too that I saw. First of
Is
all,
he?
he's from Salem.
He is?
He is.
Wait, let me
He
find
was
him.
born in Salem, Massachusetts.
Oh, he's so
Um,
lucky.
his upcoming film is The Exorcist as well.
Right, I knew that.
Yeah. So yeah, so that's interesting. He is 6'1".
He's got a lot going on for him, but just, just not everything.
You
Not,
can say that, he has an interesting hairline. You can
it's
say
not,
it.
I will not begrudge someone balding or thinning hair, like whatever. It's just like,
Yeah, no, I know.
just the whole like grill is just like not doing it for me. But it's not, he's not here to be my eye candy, and I understand that and I respect it. I respect it. He's very talented. He has a great brain, and sometimes that means more. Often that means more than anything else, right? But Salem, Massachusetts,
He is, yeah.
he only briefly lived in Salem. It left an impression on him, and he retained an interest in both the Salem witch trials and associated topics, such as ghost stories and horror fiction. That's a place that'll do that to you. Yeah, he's done a lot of good. So, I mean, if The Exorcist and Carrie had to fall into anyone's hands,
Yeah.
I would say they're in pretty good hands, even though I'm nervous. I'm nervous. What's he gonna do with them? The Exorcist is like a monster. Like, how do you?
It is. But you know what's interesting I'm looking at?
Mm,
It said that he spent years studying various religions, which I appreciate. I'm a religion connoisseur myself. I love different
sure.
ones. And he's described Midnight Mass as a passion project that was personal to him because he had a Catholic upbringing,
Mm.
but then became atheist, which I think is so interesting because so many of us Catholics went through at least an atheism phase because I did. I certainly did.
That's interesting that you say that because there is a time in the story where the character goes basically on a rant, the main character, about kind of why, like searching. And I feel like it's very relatable to people who have been through that kind of transition.
Yep.
I would definitely recommend even just to go find that part of it if you're a person that's like that sounds relatable to me, like watch the whole show if you can. But when I saw he was talking to like I think they were calling him a pastor in the
Hmm.
movie, whatever, in the show. He was sitting across and he was like, "Well, why is it like this? I can't believe that if there was a God, he would act like this and do this and this and this." And I was like, "This is very realistic, like the way
Yeah.
that it was done." So, huh.
Yeah, he said he based it on that and also sobriety. So I'm assuming the main character also had a drinking problem,
He
probably.
did.
So yep, so that's what he based it off of.
What? Yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I'm
Wow.
I'm much more interested in watching this now, knowing that because not to tell all my business, but
Mm.
like I've said
You're an
before,
alcoholic. I'm
I'm
just
not.
kidding.
But I
I'm
grew
just
up
kidding.
Catholic. I was baptized Catholic. I was all in the church. I was an altar server. I was a lector. I was a cantor. I was like knee deep, neck deep in Catholicism. And
I was
after
gonna say
I
something else. Yeah,
don't
I
don't
can't.
talk
I
about my
can't.
ponytail. So anyway,
Oh
um
God.
I after I left Catholic schools, I went to Catholic school from K through 8. After I left Catholic school, I felt like my church shunned me, and that threw me into a place of feeling like, well, I gave all these years to God, Jesus, being
Right.
so deep in the church and whatnot. Not that I even knew what I wanted, but because it was how I was raised.
Right, of course.
And I went through a period of like mourning and I got angry and I said, why would God take that away from me? Because it was my identity to a certain extent. And so I became atheist for a little while and I didn't believe in anything. And then I went to Judaism and then Hinduism and I did some other religions too. I did Wicca for a little bit and there were a few other religions that I kind of did before I became agnostic. But I have such a deep, profound understanding of that loss of religion, that loss of
Yeah.
identity, and that pain and anger that comes with questioning
Yeah.
God and everything that you thought you knew
Right.
about the world and about spirituality and God and whatnot. So that's very interesting. Like you said, it's kind of, if it's for somebody who they can relate to this, that might be good. So, yeah,
Yeah. So I think for people who, especially the way that you just described that, I do think this would be a great show for you because just to give a little more of the background. So this is how the show starts. So it's like if you don't want to know and you want it to be a surprise, that's fine. So basically, the main character, who I don't have any of the shit up right now, so I'm sorry, whatever handsome man is, he gets in a car accident because he was drunk driving and he accidentally murders someone. He goes to prison, gets sober, and he returns home to a tiny remote island where everyone is like wildly religious. Now, having gone on his journey that he's gone on, with the murder and the drinking, in prison, he's kind of had I was gonna say like a come to Jesus, but like a
right,
backwards, like an uncome to Jesus, which sounds very weird, and I apologize. But then he returns home back into this community where everyone expects you to like go to church all the time and do all these things. And he's kind of just like, hey, I don't want to do that anymore. And his family is like, oh my God, what? And then he kind of goes with them anyway, but he doesn't necessarily participate. And that by itself does not tell you what the whole series is about. Like what I
mhm,
just told you, but that's the lead in to it.
yeah,
So like I said, based on everything you just said, that sounds like it would be 100% like relatable to you, right up your alley. So if that also applies to you, dear listener or watcher, please also proceed to Midnight Mass, also on Netflix, I believe, question mark, maybe?
yes, it is on
Um,
Netflix
yeah, that was an interesting watch for those reasons. But knowing, like you said, knowing the ties to people's real life things. Like I love when directors and like writers put their own experiences into something. It makes it much more interesting, in my
It
opinion.
does. It does.
Um,
And it makes it more realistic. It makes it more believable because someone who's lived that life experience can offer so much more than someone who's just making shit up off the top of their head. Which
right.
I mean, that's still wonderful and great because,
Sure.
you'll get a lot of great stories that way, but there's a part that hits just a little bit different when you know someone else has felt that, almost like a song that someone has written about their pain that they went through or whatever the case may
Absolutely.
be. It hits
Absolutely.
so much different.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, like we said, the last two that are forthcoming, I believe, right? I don't think we have dates for that yet, do we?
For what?
Exorcist and Carrie.
The Exorcist is just 2026. I don't know about Carrie.
2026. I
It's
like that
even
I'm
untitled right the moment.
Oh, okay. I like that I'm trying to go back and all I'm seeing is pictures of Tobias Forge. I kind of said it
Tobias.
right. Um,
Tobias.
Tobias. That's I don't know, that sounds really nice to me. It's just all about him still, and I'm not mad to look at him, but that's not what we're trying to talk about. So yeah, so keep your eyes out for those products, I was gonna say, for those products coming out from Mike Flanagan, those projects. Those should be good, fingers crossed. But like I said, we like him so far. We like what he's done, what he's been doing. So and also the people he keeps casting, which I expect will maybe see them in The Exorcist. And I almost said Poltergeist. Maybe he'll remake
Karen.
Poltergeist for us. We'll get a new
Right.
Poltergeist. That's what we need.
It looks like his
Um,
wife has been in almost all of them, which is Kate Siegel. Her and the other
yes.
lady, Carla, look like they've been in almost everything that he's made.
Yeah.
So,
There was one other lady that was familiar to me. Hold on, I'll tell you. I only knew her from one other place before this. She was actually in Grey's Anatomy,
mm.
for a short period of time. Samantha Sloyan.
And I was looking at her. I said she looked familiar.
She's
Okay.
been in a bunch of stuff too. it's very interesting. I think you'll be intrigued. Good cast, everyone does a good job.
Yeah, she's the one that was in Hush, and I forgot I did see Hush.
Was she in Hush?
She was the main character in Hush, or she might have been the friend because there was a friend in
What
Hush
the
too.
hell?
Yeah,
Um,
I would recommend people watch Hush. I think it was a really good movie and it was unique, If you don't know what Hush is about, it's a woman who is a writer in a remote cabin, but she is deaf. And then somebody is trying to do stuff to her. There you
that's
go.
so crazy. I didn't know that was her, but good for her. Because I just thought that she had only been in the Grey's Anatomy thing before. I will say this also. The guy who plays they were calling him father. The actor, I don't know if this is the right way to say his name, Hamish Linklater. Incredible job in this show. He does an incredible job. Everyone does a great job, truly, but he's really like knocking it out of the park. So recommend, put it on your list.
Yes. Oh, also, Carrie is coming out in 2026, and your girl Samantha is in it.
I knew it. I knew it.
Yes,
Was
she's
she gonna
not
play the
playing
mom?
Carrie. She's playing Margaret White.
She is. She looks perfect for her. Go to your
Yep.
closet and pray, bitch. She doesn't say that. Imagine if she did.
Yeah. All right.
That's I'm interested. I'm interested. I wonder who they're gonna get to play Carrie. Did they announce?
Summer H. Howell.
Who the fuck is that? So- sorry, Summer.
I
Summer.
don't know what else Summer has been in. She's 21 years old, born in 2004.
That does nothing for me. But honestly, I feel like you kind of have to do that. If you're doing a part like that, it's almost better to have someone come in and not be a big name, kind of just like what's her face? You know how I'm gonna say Jenna Ortega when she came in to do
Wednesday.
Wednesday, is that she had done some stuff before, but she wasn't like super huge and well known. And I think it's important for them to kind of help establish their own like identity kind of in
Right.
in the character. Ow. I just smashed my fist into my desk. Everything I'm okay, everyone. It's gonna be okay. That was dumb for me to punch my table. That was dumb of me. But yeah, that's our little experience and some show talk for you guys today. I don't really have
Mhm.
anything else. Do you have anything else you want to bring up? Anything weird? Anything that's gonna make everyone uncomfortable or anything?
No, I
Oh,
will say quickly though,
yeah.
I found out yesterday that Dirty Diana by Michael Jackson was about Diana Ross. I did not know that.
What?
Yeah, yeah. Apparently,
What?
I heard
That's so scandalous.
I know. I heard varying
Wait.
things about this. Like some people were saying that Diana Ross groomed him as a young child and he that was his first
What?
love and he really liked her and they got secretly engaged and they had broke up and there's this scene where they're both at like the American Music Awards
Yeah.
and Diana Ross is on stage with Harry Belafonte and with
Mm-hmm.
Lionel Richie and she's being all extra and giving them like hugs and kisses and being real loud and they turn the camera to Michael Jackson. He's sitting next to Elizabeth Taylor, and he
Mm-hmm.
has this death glare in his eyes. And then he like makes this like really weird face where he smiles, but you could tell he's pissed. People were saying, "Oh, he was jealous because she hugged Lionel Richie, but she also hugged Harry Belafonte." But also, he goes up on stage and she's still like being very extra with Lionel Richie on stage while Michael's up there getting an award. And he like turns around and looks at them like real like what the hell are you doing? And it's such an interesting story because that's one account. The other account was Michael oh I'm sorry, and after that show, he went home and wrote Dirty Diana after that in particular. The other thing is that Diana Ross had been with all these different men and Michael knew that she had been like cheating on all these different, like cheating on one guy and cheating with a whole bunch of different people. And again, he still had like this child crush on her, but because he knew her secrets of her being with these men, it made him furious. And oh,
This is wild.
I forgot to say the last story I told you where they were at the American Music Awards when
Mm-hmm.
I said they were engaged, secretly engaged, they had broke up and that's why she was being extra and so it was just weird. So this was their first public appearance together since the secret breakup. And Elizabeth Taylor was there for support, because that was also Michael's friend. Now with this other one, same thing. He knew that she was shady and stuff. So when he saw her up on stage, being all extra with Harry Belafonte and Lionel Richie, he was like, "You're up here being like a whole slut." So, with that being said,
A whole lot.
I'm going to go ahead and go home and write Dirty Diana. But if you listen to the words or you read the words of Dirty Diana, he's talking about like,
Yeah.
you don't seduce me like you seduce them and stuff like that. And I never knew. I just like the beat. Again, I
Yeah,
told y'all
yeah.
before, I'm somebody that
That's a
listens to
catchy song.
music and I miss all the words.
You'll never
Right.
yeah, yeah.
So, but
Yeah.
yeah, so I was yesterday years old and I said to my mom, I said, "Oh my God, did you know Dirty Diana was about Diana Ross?" She simply wrote back, "Yes." And that was
Oh no.
it.
She's leaning close to the mic.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
And that was it. And I was like, "Oh, okay." I
None of
thought I
us
was
are,
saying something.
we'll never be able to watch The Wiz the same way ever again.
No, because I'm just like, what happened?
What happened? Diana.
So
Ugh.
I didn't look any further into it, but when we talked about music for a quick second, I said, yeah,
Yeah.
even music can invoke some type of feeling. And
Yes.
that's what made me think about the fact that he wrote Dirty Diana after that American Music Awards. And you can see in his eyes how pissed he is. Like I've never seen someone do a smile where it's so obvious that they're angry.
Right, right,
If you had watched it in real time and you didn't know what was going on, you probably would just thought, "Oh, Michael looks handsome. He's not, he's smiling and he has this sharp
right.
look in his eye. Like, ooh, it's kind of,
That's so
it's a kind of
crazy.
sexy look." But it's like brooding. But when you realize what's behind that brooding, that's anger or
Right.
disgust. You know what I'm saying? It's like, ooh, takes a whole different level to it. Now, listen, again, this could all be a rumor. The song is definitely about her, but the reason why I don't know because Michael publicly came out and said Dirty Diana is not about Diana Ross. He said it's about women in the industry who fuck men to get ahead and to get on. But people were like, but you chose Diana of all names. Then people were like, well, do you think that he would actually admit that the
No,
song
he
is
wouldn't
about
admit
Diana
it. He
Ross?
wouldn't
No,
admit it.
he would
No, no
never
way.
admit that. So yeah, but the fact that he even said it's about women in the industry who fuck to get ahead,
That's
mm,
crazy. No, that's crazy. I
yeah.
100% agree. You reminded me of something with Michael Jackson that I was just feverishly trying to look up to kind of go next to that. So there was a time, so I don't know if you guys know, that Prince and Michael Jackson kind of had like a, like a weirdness. There's a weirdness there between them.
Hmm.
And apparently, Michael wanted Prince to duet with him on Bad. Do you know about this?
No, I don't.
And Prince was actually, there's actually a video interview of him being like, he heard the opening line and he was like, "Your butt is mine." And he was like, and he's singing that to me, and he was like, "No, I don't, I'm not doing that song."
I
Um,
can't even, to be quite honest, that doesn't even sound like a song Prince would be on. Like
it doesn't.
the whole music, the musicality of it in general, it does not sound like
I think that
anything
he was
Prince
just
would have
maybe
done.
probably trying to capitalize because Prince was so
Yeah.
iconic. But if you think about it, because Michael was like a visionary, right? Where it's like if you think about these two enormous like musical juggernauts being on the same song, would have made bazillion dollars, right?
Yeah,
But
he should have picked a
apparently
different song.
he should have. He reportedly said, "Whose butt?" Because you're not singing that to me, and I'm not going to sing that to you. That he was just like, "No, no, I'm not doing that."
That's so funny. But Michael historically has had some weird shit in his song. Your butt is mine is one of them. And then you're a vegetable and they're hating you and
I think, you know what I think is funny is for a really long time, people thought that was like a misheard lyric. They're like, what's he saying there? I'm like, no, he's saying you're a vegetable. You're a
yeah.
vegetable, and they hate you. You're a
But I get
vegetable.
why he
Yeah.
said it though, because I get the reference that, yeah, people don't like vegetables. They don't like Brussels sprouts. They don't like broccoli and stuff like that. So, yeah, you're a vegetable and they're hating you. It's like, but does that mean I'm actually good for them and they're hating me for no reason?
You know what the thing is like, if it was just like a single line, like I'm with you, but he made a whole breakdown
I know.
about it, and it's like when no one gets it, because like people hear that, like I feel like in rap a lot is like if they're doing like a diss track or something where it's like they might work in little weird quips in it, but then it's over and you're on to the next thing and you're like, oh, that was creative, right? But in this, we got a
Yeah.
whole goddamn vegetable breakdown of a like that's just a
So
multi-sound thing happening.
I had to pull up the lyrics because I wanted to read them exactly. So I'm not doing the echoes because clearly that would be too much. He says, "You're a
Yeah.
vegetable," and some of it is repetitive, but it's not the echo. You're a
Okay.
vegetable. You're a vegetable. Still, they hate you. You're a vegetable. You're just a buffet. You're a vegetable. They eat off you. you're a vegetable. Now, put that all together, not with the rest of the song, because the shit don't make no sense with that. But to say that, first of all, you're a vegetable, they hate on you. So you are something that these people don't like. However, you have something they want, and they're taking everything from you. They're biting off you. They're eating
Right.
off you. So
Yeah.
the context behind it makes sense.
It's interesting.
Not in this song, but because he talks about I'm taking my baby to the doctor and stuff like that. And he said you my baby's crying. Now, mind you, I for the longest time until I'm gonna admit this,
Uh-oh.
for the
Uh-oh.
longest time until just now, I literally thought like when he said I'm taking my baby to the doctor, I thought it was a baby, like an actual baby. But in my mind, I said maybe he means like my girl and not my baby. Because he says I took my baby to the doctor with a fever, but nothing he found. By the time this hit the street, they said she had a breakdown. But see, again, I'm like, I thought it was his baby.
Well,
I paid no
but then later in
attention.
the song, doesn't he say, if you can't feed a baby, then don't have a baby? Doesn't he say that in the same
Yes,
song? Yeah, so
yes.
isn't it actually about a baby then? Because then
I
why would he bring that up?
I guess, because yeah, he says someone's always trying to start my baby crying, talking, squealing, spying, saying you just want to be starting something. But
Yeah.
yeah, if you can't feed your baby, yeah, yeah, then don't have a baby, yeah,
Like,
yeah, and don't think maybe, yeah, yeah, if you can't feed your baby. So it's throwing me off. It's all throwing me
this is
off.
our musical episode, by the way, everyone.
Right.
And then furthermore, it reminds me of when they did that, they had that like tribute thing, and Whitney came stomping out high AF, aggressively singing that part specifically. She's like, "Yeah," but it was kind of
Yeah.
almost like incoherent.
Yeah.
She was like sweating crazy. She had those Coke sweats. That was crazy. Um,
Yeah. That was
and
an interesting
everyone's like,
time.
"Oh my gosh, she okay?" She's like, "Obviously, I'm fine. Look at me. I'm obviously fine." Like, poor Whitney.
So I had to go back to Dirty Diana
Oh,
just to see the
okay.
words. So I there's this one part says she likes the boys in the bands. She knows when they come to town. Every musician's fans after the curtain comes down. She waits at backstage doors for those who have prestige, who promise fortune and fame, a life that's so carefree. And so there's that part.
But like,
And I
wasn't she
wanna
already like established by that time? So it's like, why would she be like
yes.
hanging on coattails?
But if
Like,
you think about how she started, like I think what's that, the Dream Girl story or something like that,
mm,
it was a little bit different. But like, yeah, see, and then there's another part. He says, Diana walked up to me. She said, I'm all yours tonight. And then I ran to the phone saying, baby, I'm all right. I said, but unlock the door because I forgot the key. She said, he's not coming back because he's
because
sleeping with me. So
yeah,
it's just so weird. Where's the part about her? You'll never make me stay, so take your weight off of me. I know your every move, so you just won't let me be. I've been here times before, but I was too blind to see. You seduce every man. This time you won't seduce me.
that's right.
That's the part of the song that was playing over that video that
Mm-hmm.
I watched with him on the thing. And I just kept hanging on that whole you seduce every man, but you won't seduce me because he looked angry. Like, I hate you, bitch. And you're not going to do this to me anymore. Like, I loved you for so long, or whatever, because it's famously known that he really liked her. Because at one point in an interview, she asked him, like, if you could have one wish, what would it be? And he said to grow up and marry you.
Oh, aw.
Yeah. So she knew because she was definitely an adult at that time. And so this is why people are like, was she a oh, sorry, PDF file? I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. That was
No,
something that I saw in discussions that people were saying, well, did she groom him? Is that what was going on? Back then, we know that age ain't nothing but a
I
number
was gonna
for
say,
most of this stuff, right? By today's standards, if that was going on, yes, it would be a problem. But,
yeah,
you
that's
know,
wild. Wow, we really
yeah.
just musically detected some shit there.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, listen, I don't have anything else about this. I'm gonna let it go. However, if you knew about Dirty Diana, or if you have another theory, or if you have something that you found bona fide facts on Dirty Diana, please share them below. I would love to go read more about it because, like I said,
Yeah.
I didn't really look into it more than what I just told you. But yeah, and also if you know and understand what the hell Wanna Be Starting Something is actually about, then by all means also
Please
put that
tell
there
us.
too,
Please
because
tell
we
us.
would love to hear all of your insights on everything from Mike Flanagan to Ghost, which I forgot to say. Ghost, I didn't realize they were out for 14 years. And I think that it's interesting because I've only heard of them recently. And so I
Can
think
I
that's
tell
probably to a
you?
lot of people
I don't
now.
know if my sister said that too. She's like, I never heard of them. I'm gonna say I didn't become aware of their existence until I heard Hunter's Moon on one of the Halloween soundtracks, one of the later, the
Oh,
2018 like trilogy. I think it was like the middle one. I don't know which one it was. It might have been the 2018 one, but I heard Hunter's Moon and I was like, oh, what's this song?
Halloween
I
Kills.
like this. Maybe. I don't remember. It doesn't matter. They're shitty. Um, But that's where I heard it. And then I looked them up and I was like, this is what they sound like, but they look like they're a death metal band. That's weird. And then it went on from there. But they, like I said, they just hit their number one album. So now they're having like a boom. And
Yeah.
also because I have a giant fucking mouth, I won't stop talking about them to everyone and everything. So then now other people who may have not been exposed to them are because I just can't stop singing their praises.
Well, they're pretty cool. So
They're pretty cool and they sell plushies of Papa. And I almost bought one, but it was $50. And I was like, do I need a plushie of a man who wears a mask for $50?
if he was dressed as a pope, perhaps. But
But
that's just my thing.
also if they made a new one because the new version, the new Papa he's wearing a mask that sometimes is bedazzled and it's like it's half his face this way, but then he has like skull paint on.
Hmm.
So he's like a skeleton Phantom of the Opera, which seems very specific to my likes, all of those things together. So if they made a plushie of that, I would totally buy him. Pope thing or no Pope thing.
I'm
I
trying to see
personally
which
like
one
him.
that is. The new one. Is that the one where he looks like he's wearing a circus outfit?
Come again?
Is that the one where
What circus
Tobias
outfit?
looks like he's because in one of these he has the skull makeup on, but he looks
Hmm.
like he's wearing a circus outfit. Like he looks like a ringleader.
Oh, no, I think that's Cardinal Copia.
Wait, you said Papa 5, right?
Papa V.
That's
Yeah.
the one I like, the one in the purple with the Pope outfit
Yes.
on.
Correct.
Yeah, he's the
Correct.
cool one. I love the
Yeah.
pictures of him. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna put this picture back in because I love this one picture because he has like metallic hands. He's standing there like
I
this
know the one you're
with the
talking about.
Pope hat on. Oh my God. I Is that an upside down cross? It is an upside down cross. Okay. Well, anyway.
We're getting sacrilegious. We're getting blasphemous. Actually, the first song they put out from this album, I'm just going to tell you guys. So if you weren't already turned off by the anti-religion, whatever, it's called Satanized,
Oh
Satanized.
God.
And literally in the chorus, they say blasphemy, heresy. So we're literally gunning right for that offensive line. But yeah, you love him in the Pope suit. I like when he's
I
dressed kind of
do.
just like a gentleman with his shirt and his little blazer. And also, this is really funny. We started laughing the other night because he sang a song, right? He has his microphone and his little blazer. He's so cute. I think he was wearing the silver one. And he kind of leans over a little bit and the jacket opens just a little bit and the camera zooms in and it just says, and this is like the one on his like stomach, so it's down there. It just says fuck you inside his jacket. And I was like, I
Wow.
love that so much because he never made like a motion to show it off, and it's like, is it just in there for him,
Yeah.
or like his
That
dresser, like who has to like put that on him when he
he's
runs
like,
backstage?
I just want y'all to see this.
Yeah, he's like, we don't need to talk about it, but just fuck you.
Somebody did say that Pope V's outfit looks like a quinceañera dress.
No, that's really funny. Yeah,
Yeah,
but also it's so big at the bottom. Like I kind
it
of like when he's
is.
wearing the less pronounced ones. I feel like that one almost looks, I don't want to say like a little silly, but the other thing I like about him, all the characters, this is one of the constants, is that they all have like one white eye, and
I
then
see.
one of Tobias's beautiful green
Huh.
eyes.
I did not notice that until just now.
Oh, your screen got so bright.
I wanted to see this picture, but I didn't realize it was going to open up like that. Whoops.
That was really funny.
I'm always getting blasted with
Your
light.
your face was just like no, but it makes him even more striking, like the white.
Yeah, I see that. And it's like, yeah, he just has the pupil. So the white with the pupil.
Yeah.
Those contacts hurt.
And he has to wear them every night. That's the thing I was thinking too, looking
Yeah,
at because the old ones, all the old characters, he used to wear a mask every time. And he did say that he had to stop wearing them because he was getting wildly claustrophobic.
right.
So if he was going to have to keep wearing them, he didn't know if he'd be able to like tour anymore. So he did the half mask finally, and now we can actually see his face. But I was like, what the hell kind of skincare routine does this man have
I don't know, because if you look
to
at
to
if
be wearing that
this
every night?
if this is Pope 1, the one that looks like a dog, his face is like all wrinkly and stuff. Because
That's
I'm
a
looking at
mask.
oh, so it's a plastic mask or something.
Yeah, they're all
Interesting.
masks except for this is the only one. Because
Where's
the
the
thing,
half?
when I first started seeing them, I wasn't entirely sure. I was like, is that just a guy with a very like structured face? Like, I'm not really sure what's happening here.
Right.
Like, it's if you really watch them, you'll see them, their mouth doesn't move that much. So you'll be like, oh
Oh,
yeah, like it has to be a mask because otherwise, whatever.
interesting.
Yeah, so it's just like this line of people that I don't know if there's a plan or he's just like, well, it's time for a new one, and he just makes up a new one. Like I don't know how he does how he does that.
Right. Well,
But it's
Papa V is
very
the best one,
Papa
honestly.
V is the best one. I actually really also like Cardinal Copia because he was very goofy.
Okay, so that was what I who I was calling Papa 4.
He was the one, yeah, he
I see
was
him though.
they also changed him to I don't know, they changed his name to something else. People were just calling him like Cardi,
Hmm.
Cardinal Copia, and then he was like Freighter
Papa
Imperator.
Emeritus 4.
Yeah,
So
then there's all the
he was
others.
Papa 4.
Well,
Okay.
they made him into that, but his character was kind of like goofy
Oh
and
yeah.
like dumb. They
I
made him
do
like
see
that.
I do see Papa Imperator. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I can see that.
So this one I think is they're all different, but I think this one's the best too. And I like that we can see his face. But again, having to put all that makeup on your face every night and cover all your skin and your pores, like what are you doing to like take care of your skin? I hope you're okay out there. Because also their tour schedule looks really super grueling. I was looking on it. Even cities that are far apart, there's like bum 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 show after show after show. And also he carries the whole show.
Mm.
So for him to have like that's a lot of exertion for him that it's just like a lot of burnout. I always feel for people like that because everyone else in the band, the nameless ghouls, if you will, they all wear masks and they might do backing vocals and whatever, but he's like the thing. So it's crazy.
Well,
It's a lot.
yeah, but welcome to our musical episode with a little bit of Mike Flanagan.
Mhm. Good job, Papa and Mike Flanagan and
Mike Jackson.
Michael Jackson and Prince for being like, I'm not doing that fucking song. That's weird.
Yes, and Diana Ross and
For
Whitney
being
Houston.
filthy, apparently.
Whitney Houston for doing coke coming on stage.
Sorry, Whitney.
Yes,
That's so
she
sad.
one of the greatest of all times, honestly. It's
She
gone way
was.
too soon. There's a conspiracy behind that. I'm not gonna get into it right now. I don't think she died on her own, but that's
That's a crazy cliffhanger to leave the episode on.
yeah. So
I
good
don't
night,
think she
guys.
did. Hashtag Whitney Houston didn't die on her own. Good night.
That's true.
Goodbye. That's
Jesus
crazy.
ET was there, so
He's the only one that knows the truth. Well, with that, I think we're gonna wrap up this After Dark. Hope you enjoyed our musical, exciting episode where we dive deep into things that we weren't entirely sure we were gonna talk about until we talked about them. Well, we'll see you guys next time, and thank you for I almost said thank you for calling. Thanks for calling.
customer service. Thank you so much for calling the Horror Ghouls podcast. Press 1 if you'd like to speak to T. Press 2 if you'd like to speak to Megan. Press 3 if you'd like to hang up. Just kidding, you can't hang up, bitch. We're here forever.
See you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.